Look, this is going to piss people off. Manure is a necessary evil. You have to do it because you got to get rid of it, but it's not good for your farm, most likely. Welcome back to American Beef Ranch. My name is Jesse. I made a video last week saying manure is poison. It's right up there in the cards. You should check it out. Really think about it. Take a deep breath when you watch it. Now look, the video was not meant to alienate anybody. It wasn't meant to upset anybody. I knew it would though. You know, yeah, you kind of garner a reaction out of something you say. People are really upset that I said manure is poison. And the reason that I said that is because literally 99% or more of manure is contaminated in a way that is negative for your soil health. It has nothing to do with why we do it or how we do it or any of that thing. And so if you want to have a little more information, continue to watch this video. Now, look, manure is a byproduct of the industry of dairy and beef. Most commonly, it is everywhere. It's all over the place, and we have to get rid of it. You could put some other industries in there too, you know, of sheep and hog and any of that stuff. So if we're talking dry manure, liquid manure, whatever it is, that manure has to go somewhere. You have to get rid of it. It is a waste product. And you know, you could pay to have it hauled off, you could take it to the landfill, you could do whatever you want, but in the end, the best way, and I'm not arguing this point at all, the best way to get rid of it is to apply it to our fields, because we do get some value out of applying that manure to our fields. We get some soil value, some value out of that manure being applied. What that value is mostly matter, some carbon, a little bit of fertilizer value, but typically not what most people think it is. Beyond that is where we run into issues. Now, yes, we have to get rid of it. That's the best way to get rid of it. But there is a downside to applying that manure to our fields, and it is the contaminants that are within the manure. And somebody said, I didn't say that last time. You didn't say that it was just the contaminants in the manure. No. Literally, at some point, it becomes the manure, okay? So we have glyphosate and we have antibiotics, and some people could say that GMOs are also an issue because they don't break down the same way that a non-GMO does. And I think GMOs will become more of a problem in that later as we do more research and find out about the breakdown of those certain things. But let's just talk about glyphosate and antibiotics. So in conventional system, glyphosate is prolifically used and antibiotics are used quite often. Glyphosate can also be categorized as a antibiotic. Now, those go into the manure, you get those glyphosates in the manure, and then you spread it on your field. Well, then that glyphosate and the antibiotics go into the soil, then it goes back into the crop, back into the feed bunk, back into the animal, and it's in this continuous cycle. Now, the problem being, the only way to really break it down is biology in the soil can break glyphosate down. Antibiotics can be broken down by biology, but it takes a lot of time and a lot of effort on their part. This brings up a multitude of issues. First off, most of the soil in the United States, agricultural soils, is not friendly to biology. So it's already hard for biology to survive. So that means it's going to be harder for them to do their jobs to the fullest that they do, which is like bring nutrients to the plant. Like that's their goal. And that's why we see so many people have so many struggles, is because literally the bugs cannot get this right stuff to the plant. So you have to overfeed and overeat with all these chemical byproducts. And then the soils are so unhealthy, we have weed problems, and we're not attacking the weed problem, so you spray more glyphosate on top of that. Well, biology will take care of the glyphosate. It just takes time. And the only way to really get ahead of the game is to eliminate them, because biology will charge in just like the Battle of Thermopylae with 300 Spartans, and they will get rid of all of that glyphosate. But if we're constantly adding to that glyphosate and that antibiotic pool, your biology is never going to get ahead. It's just a repetitive cycle. So my argument is that it's literally the manure is the problem, because 99% of manure or more is contaminated in some way, shape, or form. And guess what? Your seeds can be contaminated. Your spray is obviously contaminant. So if you continue to farm in the same way that you are farming, or we have farmed for 50 years, and expect your soil to make a tremendous uptake or get to a point where you really can lower your input cost, you're not going to get there. It's just not going to happen. So if you're going to make a commitment to soil health and get down the road of soil health, eventually, if you are applying a new manure, you are going to try to figure out a way to get that glyphosate out of your system completely, because when you're spraying it, you're nuking your biology. And Obviously, that's not a good thing. And then when it comes back around in manure, you're just adding to that glyphosate load, and the biology is never going to get ahead to really help make a difference on your soil. Sure, you can correct minerals, you can do all these other things, but to really get to a point of sustainability and long-term profitability by completely or greatly reducing your inputs, you have to clean that manure up. It's just not going to be possible without it. I apologize for my voice being scratchy, but I've been under the weather. But I would say the biggest takeaway is that we cannot continue to farm the same way and expect the same results. That would literally be the definition of insanity, and we can't keep doing that. If we want to get to a point where inputs are consistently lower, we can get the cost of our goods down, and guess what? We're suffering. Farmers are suffering from super low prices. Consumers are seeing super high prices at the grocery stores. We're seeing super low prices in our farm production. If we're going to continue to have these low prices or these threshold prices, and you want to survive as a farm, you have got to figure out a way to get your costs down. And making your soil as healthy as humanly possible is one of the best ways to do that, because it's going to take less water, less nutrients, and less inputs to get a bumper crop. And that's what I hope for you. I hope your goal is to grow the best crops you possibly can, help feed the world, and consistently try to give people a better product, but also at the same time helping make you financially stable and saving money for the long term, because guess what? You're probably going to need it. God bless. Have a wonderful day. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.